Hi again, everybody. I'm Logan Crawford, and you're watching Fresh Outlook. This is our lightning round. It is so much fun. It goes as fast as lightning. We're going to start with Jose Lopez and talk to him a little bit about this cell phone story that broke this week, that people, primarily businesses, are actually able to monitor your movements and buying habits on the cell phone. What should we do with our monstrosities? Chuck them out so we have more privacy? Jose.
Not much you can do. I mean, it's the hazard of turning on any kind of mobile device these days. You're being tracked, whether it's by law enforcement, if involuntarily, or by advertisers, and it's just the way it's set up. I mean, Google does it all the time. When you go and you Google and you see something, then the next time you Google, you see all those ads coming out. So this is the new norm. This is what's going on.
Bill, is it legal? Is it ethical? Is it right? What do you think?
Well, I think there's two parts to it. There's the part about having your cell phone on and off, and then there's the part that you consciously make to allow yourself to be followed and get push notifications and things like that. So individuals can get rid of those pretty easily.
So you can be as private as you want. You turn off your GPS on your phone, you do private browsing on your
You can do
browser.
some of those things, but still the government's still going to be able to track you because of the technology. But you can eliminate some of the tracking that goes on you, but not entirely.
Jackie, will my aluminum foil hat help me in this situation?
Always, always.
Okay,
yes.
Good. What's your take, seriously, on the lack of privacy we have when we use one of these?
Look, one of these is almost a need now in our lives.
Exactly.
You know, everybody's got one. I can't stop my students from texting during class. However, we also have our right to privacy. So it's always going to be that push and pull, push and pull. I think that what we need is more legislation to kind of push back a bit, because it's about time.
Exactly. We have a picture to show you now of a flying car. Let's take a look. This is how Jose Lopez got here to the Erupts studios today. He actually zipped in on a flying car from, I think, Slovakia built it. Right. Let's take a look. It's a very nice ride there, Jose. I love it. Tell me what your thoughts are on the flying car.
Logan, I wish I had that car. I mean, living in New Jersey with the traffic in this area, I wish I had that car. It looks dangerous. It's flying. It's a few hundred feet. It can go up to 300 miles per hour. So I don't know. I'm not that big of an adventure freak.
Does that kind of technology exist now in the United States?
It's been existed for years, but once you get off the ground, it's like the problem that Amazon and all these different companies are having with drones. Then you get into the FAA. The FAA starts to regulate that. So that's the trouble we have there.
Would you want one, Bill?
Probably not, number one. And number two, I think we have to recognize that this type of technology, also boats that become cars or boats that become planes, have been in magazines like Popular Mechanics and Scientific type of handyman magazines going back to the 1940s and 50s. This is a new incarnation of this. It's not the first time this has happened.
And the technology, Jackie, spills over, which is wonderful. We might not actually fly a car, but we might have some kind of hovercraft or something eventually on our roadways.
I'll take it.
Exactly.
What is wrong with you two? And the traffic in this area is so bad. This is a dream come true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to hover. Look, I can see myself
Legislation.
crossing the Lincoln Tunnel by flying over the Hudson right now and not paying that. I think the toll's $40 each way now. It's really nice. $140.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about my least favorite time of the year, daylight savings time. I don't know if it's beginning or ending. I always get confused, but we're going to be dark at around 3:30 in the afternoon here in New York. Jackie, I'm going to begin with you. I hate it when we fall back. Yeah, I'm going to get an extra sleep tomorrow night, but you know, it's going to be 3 o'clock. We're driving home. It's dark. I'm depressed.
I know. I'm depressed with you. You know, this is a terrible thing. I think we should make a law that says we should have daylight savings time all year round.
I'm voting for you. Bill, what's your take?
As a father of a 15-year-old daughter, she gets up in the morning, it's black when she wakes up, it's black when she goes out to the bus. There's a safety issue involved also. So, you know, maybe there has to be some allocation in terms of daylight time, not daylight savings versus whatever.
Just shorten the school day.
Well, that's another option.
They'll expand their brains. That's how I look at it. Jose, when it comes to science, you're always the smartest guy in the room. Why do we have this anyway?
There is no science here. It's just about I mean, there is science in the sense that the sun is where it is. and the East Coast is where it is, and that's just the way the sun shines.
Right.
Effectively, that's about it. But then it's about keeping more daylight versus nighttime. That's all.
So kids are better off coming home from school in the dark than going to school in the dark.
They get home
that's a
before
philosophy.
school. I mean, before it actually gets dark, but they get to be out waiting for the bus when there's a little bit of light.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, I don't like it. I don't have to wait for a bus.
We can move to Indiana, Logan.
Exactly. Or move to San Diego. A big volcano in Hawaii is threatening a population of about 1,000 people. Jose, why do we live near things like this, the Kilauea?
Well, this is in Hawaii, so I mean, I don't think I need to answer that question. We know that it's a beautiful place, but I mean, it's a very slow moving volcano. It's moving at a few meters. I think the last report I checked was about 5 meters per hour. So it's not something that's going to be a huge natural disaster. They see it coming at this point, so they're safe.
You know, the other part of it is it seems like it's unusual because it's Hawaii and it's lava, but you could ask the same question about floodplains.
Right.
Okay,
Why
do people build on
Right.
a floodplain? They know what's going to happen, and why do we build homes on the Jersey Shore where the storms are going to come up and destroy the beaches? Because we want to. Okay, that's why.
Because we can.
You know.
Exactly.
You know, this
Jackie, what's
actually,
your thought?
this helped me the other day. I was kind of depressed. And then I thought, what could be worse than living what they said was a baseball field away from having hot lava coming down onto your house? And I felt better.
Well, my father used to say that the Southern Italians dealt with a lot of seasonal depression and depression in general because they lived in the shadow of a volcano. I don't know if that's one of the stories he told. He told many stories in his life, but maybe that's why I'm morose when they changed the clocks. Jose, do you care about the World Series? I think the Giants played against Kansas City. I didn't watch 1 second of it.
Well, if the Giants were still in New York, I would care more. But I this time I was going for the Royals. I mean, that's been a bottom feeder team for years, and the fact they made it to the World Series and were this close. I mean, Game 6 they won 10-0, and that was a heartbreaker. I feel sorry for Kansas City.
Bill, your take on the World Series?
It'll be interesting what the revenues ended up generating out of that, because I would bet not having a team like New York and Los Angeles in there is going to significantly impact the finances of the World Series. I agree with Jose, having a smaller market team in it is exciting, and for the last couple of years we've had that. Teams like Minnesota also being in there, or Milwaukee. So the idea is that small market teams can compete, which is a refreshing idea.
Interesting point. Jackie?
One of the most fun times I have ever had in my life was sitting in a kayak behind San Francisco's stadium waiting for a ball to come over.
Okay.
It's
And she's still waiting there.
No, it's a party back there.
Okay. So you did have a good time. Let's talk a little bit about Mark Zuckerberg. Apparently, he said ni hao to about 10,000 Chinese students who are attending a symposium. Jose, you can't even log on to Facebook in China. Why is he bothering?
He's actually on an advisory panel at Tsingshan University, which is the MIT of China. I've been there. It's a really impressive university, very progressive technology you're doing there. And he said a lot more than ni hao. He talked. His Mandarin is actually pretty good. It's pretty impressive. I mean, he's been practicing, and he wowed the people. They were every word he said, they were following him.
Cecia. Bill Rosenberg, that's the only other Chinese phrase I know. It means thank you. Bill, what's your take on this?
I think one of the issues is really the whole globalization of the internet. So he is such a prominent force in it that he's going to want to be engaged, even if he can't be as aggressive as he wants right now. Because Facebook also was involved in a lot of politics, okay, because of what's going on in Hong Kong versus China. So I think he has to be careful about how pushy he is, but at the same time, from an economic standpoint, he wants Facebook to have
It's a billion users. That's a billion more friends I could have. I need them. That'd be awesome. Also, Jackie, quickly, because we're going to switch to our next topic, I think part of this is rehabilitating his image. After watching The Social Network, I think he's a twerp who stole his idea.
No. He's a very rich and powerful twerp.
Okay, excellent. That's what I thought. And who can speak a little Chinese. That's excellent. Jose, let's talk about the New York City Marathon. We saw what happened at the Boston Marathon. So, of course, there are grave concerns that a similar thing could happen in the New York City Marathon. God forbid. A number of precautions have been made. I was in New York City last night for the Halloween parade, and there was a tremendous police presence. When the race gets underway tomorrow, I'd imagine there's going to be an even greater police presence. What is your thought about having such major events with global attention in America's most populated city?
Look, we have to. This is an athletic event. This is a celebration of the human spirit. So it has to happen. I mean, you just hope something doesn't happen at this point with hundreds of thousands of people coming for this event. I mean, what can you do? You can't stop it. It has to go on. The show must go on.
Bill Rosenberg.
I think we face this every weekend, every weeknight almost in the United States. NFL football games, college football games. We are always a target. We have to have vigilant security, but we can't also all crawl into a cave.
Yeah, and even a secondary event such as the Boston Marathon, Jackie, was a target. Nobody ever suspected that. New York City, you kind of have your guard up a little bit saying, hey, it's New York City, but Boston, not to demean the city, it's just not off your radar a little bit when it comes to terrorism.
Exactly, because if it could happen in Boston, it could happen anywhere. And you're right. Right now, everyone's going to be on edge, just waiting for something to happen. Look what happened in Queens the other day. Nothing happens in Queens.
Right.
And a lone.
And you're talking about a hatchet attack against a couple of New York City police officers, one of whom was gravely injured.
Yeah. So if that can happen, anything can happen.
Okay. Jose, they're going to be running in extremely cold conditions tomorrow. As the smart science guy in the room, that's going to be tougher on their bodies, I'd imagine. Well,
it's going to be tougher in a sense, but their bodies are going to cool off a little bit better because it's a marathon. It's not a fast race. So the actual cooling off is a good thing for them, I would say, scientifically, looking at the thermodynamics of it.
And I used to hear that people shouldn't run marathons because the original marathon runners used to drop dead after the race because they were delivering a message. I'm going to deliver a message now. I'm going to thank Jose Lopez of Seton Hall University for joining us today. Bill Rosenberg, always here with his extraordinary perception and insight and astounding views, and Jackie Guzda lightening up our show as always. I'm Logan Crawford. Thanks so much for joining us for this edition of Fresh Outlook, Ebru's TV talk show that does what else but help you keep your outlook fresh and informed. I'm Logan Crawford. Thanks for joining us.